because there are a lot of horror stories out there. I mean, I hear, first of all, like you mentioned, the medical professionals giving advice that is absolutely just off-putting. You know, it
Yeah.
puts you down in even thinking you have a problem and you start believing it's in your head.
Right, right. And medical professionals, they're not trained in human sexuality. Like the amount of time they spend in med school talking about, and they're also steeped in a sex shaming culture just like the rest of us. The problem is we expect them to know the answers. So taking that advice with a grain of salt is a really important thing to do.
Yeah, and if getting that advice is to keep looking for somebody who can do better, it definitely isn't always, you know, the fault of the doctors. There's so much pressure in their work to, first of all, be profitable with the cut down times that they get to see a patient for. I think it's like 15 minutes typically. But it is nice to see that there are some medical professionals out there who do specialize in this kind of work. And most importantly, don't give into the ego trip of saying a particular diagnosis just because they have to come up with something, but
Right.
actually admitting like, hey, I don't know enough about this. Let me refer you to so and so.
Right. And that's ultimately what happened to us is we ended up following a trail of breadcrumbs of I don't know what this is, but it started with I don't know what this is, but something isn't right here and it's not in your head. And once we had that was an incredibly freeing interaction to have. So once we did that, we followed breadcrumb to breadcrumb until we eventually got um, to a woman named Elizabeth Stewart in Boston, who is a specialist. She wrote the V book, which I don't know if you've read that before, but it's wonderful. It's an owner's manual for vagina owning people,
Awesome.
and this is what she does. She does genital pain, and she has a team of pelvic floor therapists that work with her and medical professionals, and that's where we end up, and that's where we really had most of the success.
That's excellent. Yeah, there, and I think you're right when you say that this is becoming more of a topic that's being discussed these days with books coming out. Come As You Are is another one you had recommended.
Yes.
Next on my reading list, I just read the Healing Painful Sex book, which is
Hmm.
great for seeing what kind of symptoms certain diagnoses have under them, so you can kind of self-identify and maybe even educate your doctor if they don't know about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time educating doctors about painful genitals. Yeah.